Shabbat Shalom. We're going to get started on time today, which means we have 60 seconds to go.
60 seconds to 2.
Bim Bam Shabbat Shalom. I think you know all the words, seeing as it's Bim Bam Shabbat Shalom.
This will be the 5th time I've done this today, Bim Bam, so I expect you to sing a little louder than some of the kids. Bim Bam, Bim 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 Bam, Bim 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 Bam,
Very, very, very
Bim
bim.
Bam, Bim 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 Bam, Bim 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 Bam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom.
We'll join together in the lighting of the Shabbat candles. Why don't we have all the kids come forward and gather around the candles? Come on up. All right. Stella, do you know how to use this? You want some help? Ready? Here we go. Blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who hallows us with this mitzvah and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat on this first day of September. Sorry, September. On page 125, we're in our prayer books today because there are so many things in the prayer books that we have. Is this on?
Test.
Yes. Okay. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory that the Cubs had today over the Reds. I was at the game, no worries. The realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain or the sting of defeat like the Reds had today against the Cubs, or the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and the days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day, and let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat abide. On page 125, we sing the words of Hine Ma Tovu Manai.
Hine ma tohu manai, Shevet Achim gam yachad. Hine ma tohu manai, Shevet Achim gam yachad. Hine ma tohu, Shevet Achim gam yachad. Shevet Achim gam yachad, Hine ma tohu manayim. Shevet Achim gam yachad, Hine ma tohu manayim. Shevet Achim gam yachad, Hine ma tohu, yadadai, yadadadadada. Hine ma tohu,
Do a little Shabbat Shirah, a little song session for Shabbat as we make our way through some of these songs and continue with more Shabbat.
Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom. Shabbat
top of page 129.
Dodili Vanilo Harowe Vasoshanim Dodili Misodola Mirhamibar Misodola Mirhamibar Dodili Vanilo Harowe Vashoshani Dodili Mefuter more Lebona more Lebona Dodili Dodili Vadilo Harowe Vashoshani Dodili Divaftini Apotikala Divatini Apotikala Dodili Valilo Harowe Vashoshani Dodili.
We go from talking about Dodili, my beloved, to Lecha Dodi, the beloved of Shabbat and the Shabbat bride, as we turn to page 138 and sing together in Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabla Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabla Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Umevorach Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Umevorach.
And so we turn to the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144 as we move from the section of our service, the Kabbalat Shabbat, the receiving of Shabbat, the welcoming of Shabbat, into the prayers of the evening, into our regular liturgy, and we separate those two sections with the words of the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadal ve'yikadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra pirtei v'amlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'vyom echon u'v'chayei dekol Beit Yisrael. Bagala u'vizman kariv ve'imeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam omei almaya yitbarach. Yitbarak v'yishabach v'yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'rechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'meru. We rise for the Baruch Hu as we join together.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayers? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
So God separated the evening from the day, and we read together on page 149 in the English on top of the page. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans into infinity, so you set the course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Haba'ari Arabi. Page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. Page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol lavcha v'kol nafshecha u'b'kol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'dvarim ha'evet asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'blechtecha b'derech u'shokbecha u'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ktaptam amzuzo beitecha u'visharecha Leman tiskeru vasitem ekvototai vitem kedoshim Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti echem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim Adonai Elohechem. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. 158. Of Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, the prayer Hashkivenu, asking God to grant us safety as we sleep, as our eyes are shut. Page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, passion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom.
The Shabbat was given to the Israelites with the words of Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat letorta b'ritovam. Beini ubein b'nei Israel oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Vayi Nafesh V'Shamru B'nei Yisrael Et HaShabbat La'asot Et HaShabbat V'Goyim Berit Olam.
So we turn to the words of the Amidah, the Tefillah, our standing prayer, as we rise together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Govel Chasadim Tovim, V'Gonei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevitu Avliv Me'Pneihem, Le'man Shemo Ve'ava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, V'Ezras Sarah, 168. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia, Mechalkel Chaim B'Hesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somer Koflim V'Rofeh Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mkayei Memunato L'Shenei Afar, Michamocha B'Geburot, U'Midomela, Melech Me'Mid U'Mechayei, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman atah le'Hachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el haTov. We're seated as we take a moment for silent prayer, prayer of the heart, prayer of the soul.
This is the moment as time rolls by, for my silent prayer to Adonai. Prayer of thanks for for all my blessings, a prayer of compassion for all in need, a prayer of knowledge where I keep guessing, a prayer between God and me. Close your eyes, say a prayer. Prayer of thanks for all my blessings, prayer of compassion for all in need, a prayer of knowledge where I keep guessing, a prayer between God and me, a prayer between God and me, a prayer between God and me.
So we take a moment for prayer for healing of the body, healing of the soul, healing of the spirit, healing of the mind. If you're thinking of somebody at this time, you're asking for a special blessing for healing, I invite you to share their name either out loud or in your heart.
Say your address. We got a lot of needs in my house, including our animals and our May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing, with refuah Shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And let us say, Amen.
And so, as it is September 1st, that must mean that Rosh Hashanah is around the corner, which indeed it is, as we will welcome Rosh Hashanah in the new year 5784, just 2 weeks from today. Don't worry, you don't have to come to Shul twice, because you can come for Shabbat and Rosh Hashanah at the same time 2 weeks from today. But that means that you have to be here for extra long, so it's going to be 3 or 4 hours, maybe all night, who knows. If you remember the old Gates of Red, yes, that would mean that we're doing the red print. And the new Mishkan Tefillah, that means it's the blue print. They changed the color for some reason. But in order to welcome September, to welcome Rosh Hashanah, to welcome 5784, I thought we would get in the spirit with the words of Apple Days. I don't know if you're like me, but Apple picking this year is not easy to do. There's a lot of orchards that are not open this year for some reason. It's because of a late frost. You remember that frost in April? Deep freeze in April that we had that killed a lot of plants? That means that a lot of the apple orchards aren't open for public picking this year. But that's okay, because we have Apple Days book. So if you would like to come close, no matter what age you are, if you would want to sit on the ground to see the pictures, I invite you to come and join around. Apple Days, a Rosh Hashanah story by Allison Sarnoff-Sofer and illustrated by Bob McMahon. What are you looking forward to this Rosh Hashanah? Katie's teacher asked the class. Hearing the shofar, shouted Max. Chicken soup at Grandma's, exclaimed Abby. Katie raised her hand, beaming. Applesauce, she said, but not just any kind. Every year, my mom and I go apple picking, and then we make our own. Katie even had more to share. And I will even have a new baby cousin later this month. Applesauce and a baby in the new year? Her teacher replied, how exciting. Katie loved apples. She loved biting into their crispy skin and discovering the sweet, tart taste inside. But she loved applesauce even more. Every year at the orchard, Katie and her mother would search for the perfect apples. They would walk down the rows, picking some of each of variety until their bucket was full. At home, Katie would place the 10 apples on the kitchen counter, and her mother would start to peel. Katie watched as her mother's steady hands moved quickly in circles, unraveling the skin like threads from a spool. Then Katie's mother would core and slice the apples, and Katie would put them into their biggest pot. Katie would take cinnamon and sugar from the pantry and sprinkle them into the pot. Finally, she would squeeze in some lemon juice and add a little bit of water. Soon the kitchen would fill with the sweet smell of apples and cinnamon. Just thinking about it made Katie's mouth water. Let's make it next Wednesday, said Katie's mother, and Katie drew a big apple on the calendar. Katie told everyone about the apple day. And soon her dad knew too. Her neighbors knew. Carla, the hairdresser, knew. And Sam, the shoe store man, knew. The principal knew. Rabbi Portnoy knew. On Monday, she told her class, it's getting closer. And all of her friends, like Abby and Max, knew. Katie couldn't wait for each day to pass. On Tuesday, the phone rang and Katie answered. Hi, said Aunt Leah. Oh, hi, said Katie. Guess what? We are going. Katie, I'm very sorry to interrupt, sweetie, but I need your mom now. Katie was puzzled. Aunt Leah always wanted to hear about everything, but Katie went to find her mother. When her mother hung up the phone, she turned to Katie. Your new baby cousin is coming early, so I'm afraid we can't go apple picking tomorrow. But Mommy, Katie cried, you promised! Tears spilled down her cheeks. I know this is disappointing for you, Katie. It is for me too. But I have to help Aunt Leah. It's your job to be a big girl. But we won't have applesauce for Rosh Hashanah, said Katie sadly. The next day, Katie's father walked into school. Why so sad? The crossing guard asked. Isn't it Apple Day today? We can't go, Katie mumbled. Can't go? Asked Max. Why? Because of the baby, said Katie. Max told Abby, who told their teacher, who told the principal, who told the rabbi, and Abby got her hair cut, and she told Carla, and when Max went to buy new school shoes, he told Sam. And when Katie and her dad arrived home after school, they found a bright red apple on the doorstep. Next to it was a note that said, "Dear Katie, I heard about what happened. Maybe this will help. Love, Rabbi Portnoy," with a big red apple. The next day, the crossing guard handed Katie a yellow apple, and the principal placed another in her backpack. And Katie's teacher gave her an apple at circle time, and so did each of her friends. Her backpack was full of apples. Walking home with her dad, Katie passed the shoe store, and Sam, too, handed her a surprise, a jar of cinnamon. "Wait," Katie shouted. "Wait, Katie," shouted Carla from the beauty shop. "I have some sugar and a lemon for you." And when they got home, Katie lined up 10 apples on the kitchen counter and tried to remember what her mother did next. She and her father stared at the apples and the cinnamon and the sugar and the lemon, wondering excitedly how to turn them into applesauce. "First, we have to peel them," Katie said. So her father took out the peeler and got to work. "What's next?" asked her dad. "Mommy finds recipes on the computer," Katie suggested, and then climbed onto her father's lap as they searched the internet. "Next, we have to core and chop the apples," said her dad, reading from the screen. "Then Mommy puts them into a big pot," Katie continued, "and we have to find it." In went the apples, and then the cinnamon and the sugar, and finally the lemon juice. Dad turned on the stove, and soon the kitchen filled with the sweet smell of apples and cinnamon. One taste, and they knew. "We did it!" exclaimed Katie. And so the next morning, Katie walked into her classroom proudly carrying a tray of cups filled with applesauce. "Thank you for all your help," she said to each of her classmates. A few days later, on Rosh Hashanah, she filled Brammel's crystal bowl with applesauce and placed it in the center of the holiday table. When her mother arrived with Aunt Leah and their new cousin, Will, she hugged Katie close. Together, they gazed at tiny Will. Then Katie led her mother to the table. "Oh my," was all her mother could say. Her father laughed. There was one more surprise. Katie reached into her pocket and pulled out a freezer jar filled with applesauce. Not for now, of course, but soon enough. Will would be able to taste it and smile too. They all would. Yeah. So may we all be filled with apples and honey in 2 weeks, and picking 10 or 12 or 20,000, however many you might have. Maybe making your own applesauce or whatever you do with apples. Apple cake, apple bread, apple cookies, apples and honey, apples and cinnamon. What other things can you do with apples? Caramel apples. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. I don't have apples because that would mean that my wife would never be able to come home. She's a doctor. So if I had an apple, I would keep the doctor away. I don't necessarily want to do that. No, the flower farm. Yeah, we're going to the flower farm. Ira. The second day of restaurant, we're going to I'm blanking on the first word. Farmstead. Frost Farmstead. Thank you. For flower picking. Yes. Not apple picking. It's hard to do apple picking, especially this early in the season. See? Oh, full circle, Ira. Full circle. It's too late for me.
Wrong holiday.
Yeah, exactly. So let's continue with our service. On page 586, we'll turn to the words of Aleinu. the words of our closing of our service as we rise together as we are able. Sure.
I want to help you. Ready? Okay, pull it forward so the light comes
Alleluia Shabbat Shalom Hakol La Tekiru La Leotzer Brinchi Shelo Asanu Kue Aratzot Velo Samanu Kimishavot Adama Shelo Sam Chalkenu Gahem Vigoralenu Kekol Amonam Vanaknu Kori Umishtachavi umodi lifnei melech malkei hamamim hakadosh baruch. Maybe seated.
I think you're ready for your breakfast.
All right.
As it is written in the Emor, let it be said, God rules the earth. On that day there shall be one. V'haya Adonai, Hamelech HaKol Haaretz. On that day, God's name shall be one. V'yom Hahu, Yehieh Adonai Echad.
We already got a preview of Rosh Hashanah Day 2, Frost Farmstead, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Are there any other announcements that, there's no McCoy this week, Labor Day, happy Labor Day celebrations and good weather for that. Anything else that I'm forgetting? Rosh Hashanah services, 2 weeks from today. Don't waste all your energy between now and then. The high holidays are upon us. Your rabbis are writing sermons. Well, at least they're supposed to be. Yeah, at least they're supposed to be. We turn to the words of Mourner's Kaddish, to the words of sacred memory, to the memory of those who we wish will be with us and celebrate with us around our holiday tables of this season, who are no longer with us. On this Shabbat, our community remembers the yard sites, the anniversary of the passing of Alan Beckerman, Sylvia R. Moss, Edward Neiman, Lillian S. Creed, Roberta Gordon, Beatrice Grossman, Faye Siegel, Martin Robbins, Louis Plotkin, Adam Spalter, Gustav Krosch, Summer Karp, Mary Seidenschmidt, Scott Nelson. In addition, we recall the recent passing and the pain that's still in our hearts from the passing of Jacqueline Fishman and Lee Blood. We turn to the words of Mourner's Kaddish on page 598 as we rise as one to the community. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shumei v'almad yibrach yirutei v'amlich malchutei v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chaye dekol beit Yisrael b'galau v'tzman kari v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam omei omaya yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudusha b'reichu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. And the one who grants peace in the high heavens grant peace to us and to all who mourn, to all the worlds to which we say. We'll say the words of Kiddush. Say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. L'chaim. Look at you all in Moti. Would you like joy? Hey. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. We'll close with the words of Oseh Shalom, which you can jam out to. Speak or stand.
Oseh Shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'nimru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'nimru. Amen.
We played 2 today. It's 0-0 in the second inning right now. So, in case you were wondering, that is the score. And I'll need updates on Rosh Hashanah. So whoever is going to have that. Nonetheless, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yes, man. Yeah.
You've been drowning all It's up to you for me, but you know, give your time. They're pickier than I am. Right.
I think I'm gonna start practicing my shofar.
Oh.
All right. Need help with anything?
No, I think we're just.
Don't survive. Okay, go. How's your wife feeling?
That was marathon.
I tell you.
Just to make you feel that the rest of them do the good stuff.
So, was it the fact that I was more impressed with you reading up and upside down and right to left?
Don't you like that?
I was totally impressed.
I used to be a backwards steward upstairs.
Yeah,
Very
you go down the
impressed,
stairs
but-
like they do in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
How's that?
That big dance scene is in the parade.
Oh, right, okay.
It's like stairs.
We're gonna have a building now.
You won't let the sauce on pictures you're going.
Oh.
How I heard you say that you're in the middle of January, end of January?
That means much.
Well, I don't know.
It's a guesstimate.
Benjamin's due date was like the 20th, and was one on the 16th. But it depends on who you ask, because we thought it was 1 week and they thought it was another. They thought it was the 20th, but we thought it was like the 10th. So it was really more important.
It needs just. And they have no problem, because they have a thing with therapy.
Oh, yeah.
No, okay. I just call Abby and say it is for therapy.
Yeah.
Cool. And they'll give me like about 4 or 5, 6 months. As long as he needs the pool.
Yeah. As long as he wants to use their people.
Actually, it's $1 million.
So you guys have such similar hair that, and you could just come at one of your days.
Because I love the park under, I think, oh, was it Felix under?
No, it was Felix under was,
Yeah, that was what I thought.
that was the other.
Right.
Yeah, we,
He's the president. Yeah, that's why we try to reach out, but we didn't got there. But yeah, I spoke to the person in membership, because it's got a strong accent.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it has been one crazy day.
Damn. Yeah.
few clouds.
Cool.
And needed it.
Well, brother, you can always come to the house. We're 2
Oh,
miles.
yeah, I was just.
We're just 2 miles up the road.
So.
So, you know, we were playing this thing one day.